What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the delay in this week's video. Halloween was crazy. Also, I got a little sniffle. I don't know if it's allergy. It's been cold and rainy. Like, it is straight up twilight weather. Like, it's just... So if I'm sniffling, that's why. Anyway, we are back today with a juicy story time. One, what happens when you hook up with the owner of an exclusive bar in Gangnam? And the second one is a bonus. I got 2 different emails from 2 different girls. Thank you so much, ladies. One of them, she said like a bunch of different like brief experiences, and one name caught my mind. When I read it, I was like, wait, I know that clown. It made me gag with disgust.
Disgusting shit.
I'm gonna save that for the end because I also unfortunately had an encounter with this guy. But first, we're gonna get into this hookup with the bar owner in Gangnam story time. So please watch this video until the end if you want to hear that bonus little side story. I'll also drop the name of the bar at the end of the story. Drive up the engagement, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment for the algo, for the watch.
For the watch.
And thank you so much, as always, to my channel members. There's a link in the description if you guys want to join the channel membership. And if you also want to share your story, you can email me at cclesson3@yahoo.com. So for today's story, sorry, intro out of the way, we're jumping right in. In her email, she said we can use her nickname, so she's Nikki today. She said she wanted to share the story with this community. I watch your videos all the time, and I watch until the end. I'm extremely proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. Please keep it up. I hope you can discuss this one because it's definitely a one-night situation, though it ended very well. Also, I thought it would be unique because I didn't meet him the usual Tinder way. So, Nikki was in South Korea from 2018 to 2019. And the story takes place at the very end of her trip, like literally the last few days of her trip. She said it was one of her more memorable nights in Korea. As you're about to see why. So she was with one of her friends and they decided Korea's coming to an end, let's go out to dinner, let's get some drinks and go out for the night. At first, Nikki had a date with a Meef guy, but that didn't work out because he ended up having to go out of town. So first they went out to a bar and it was called Bottega Veneta? Bottega space Veneta. I don't know if it's Bottega or Bodega Veneta, but I like the way that sounds. What are you doing? You want to say hi? Say hi to the people. Now she said when they first got there, it was empty as fuck. So a lot of the bar staff, they were kind of just all eyes on them. These 2 foreigners walk in and they're just like, what y'all about to do? So after a few drinks, she was hit on by an angry Russian dude. He didn't like working in Korea, but apparently he spent like 6 months out of the year working in Korea. So Nikki's friend got the bartender's number and they were chilling at the bar having a few drinks, and then suddenly they got ambushed by a drunk Korean girl.
You know, I have no 친구.
Apparently it was her birthday party and like she ditched her friends and ditched her party to hang out with Nikki and her friend. The birthday girl's friends were not cool with that, so they were upset. And because of that, they're like, well, this is getting awkward. So Nikki and her friend decided to leave and head to the second bar. But as they were leaving this first bar, the angry Russian dude came over to them and said, wait, are you guys leaving? Can I hang out with you at the next spot?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
Nikki and her friend looked at each other and was like,
bye, Felicia.
So now they are heading to this second bar. She said it was a pretty well-known bar and popular one in Gangnam. I've never heard of it, but I'll tell you guys the name of the bar at the end of the story, and you can tell me if you've been there, if you're gonna go there and be nosy and see who the owner looks like, because I might do that. So from what I gather, they met before this night. Like, this night wasn't the first time she met this owner of the bar. And the first time they met up, he was asking about their experiences so far, and they had a pretty friendly, casual conversation. But I think it is implied that somebody suggested that the next time they meet, they'd smash. So they sit down at the bar in this very beautiful upscale area. Also sitting at the bar is the owner of the bar. And Nikki said he looked like he wasn't really having a good night. Like he was kind of having a rough situation going on. And for the story, we're gonna call him Gong, named after the famous Gong Yoo because he is an ajushi. Emphasis on juicy. So yeah, he looked like he was having a rough night, and she said it didn't help the fact that she called him by the wrong name.
Call me by your name.
So Gong looked at Nikki and said,
That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
and she doubled down. She said, yes, it is. So then Nikki's friend touched her shoulder and was like, no, sis, it's not. That's not his name. So then Nikki was confused and she said, oh, when did your name change? And she said it was an interesting mixture of anger and flirtation. I've never heard of that before. I'd probably be scared and leave, but he was mad, but he was also kind of flirty with her. So while Gong and Nikki were sitting at the bar chatting and catching up, and I guess he said, by the way, my name is Gong, and not his real name, that's just the Ajushi name that we're giving him. She said, quote, my homegirl pulls a Homer Simpson in the bushes and disappears to the bathroom. I took the opportunity to steal the seat next to him and really drive home the points. So the next part of the story is gonna be like a little bit of the dialogue she included in the email, so you can see how this conversation goes from 0 to a billion. Look, my bad, it's been a year since we've been here. You don't remember me? No, I remember you. Now when are we fucking?
Hold up. Hey, well, my niggas who be thinking we soft.
Excuse me? Oh no, I remember you. We're getting together, your place or mine. Sir, wait a minute. You holding on to that for a whole year with no guarantee I would be back? I mean, I was hoping, even though you forgot my name. She was gobsmacked, but she wanted to play along because she was intrigued by how direct he was. Okay, what about tomorrow? It's gonna be tight for me. Get it tight. Why? Because I have a date and I think I'm gonna have to cancel. I met a woman before, but I don't like her. No, you shouldn't just cancel like that. I wanna see you more. You're leaving soon, right? Well, yeah, in like 4 days. Then it's settled. Come on, you're not gonna ask to cancel. Watch me. So Nikki watched him pull out his phone and text somebody, put his phone down. It chimed a little bit later as they were talking, and he said, there, done. So he canceled his date to sleep with her, which I think most guys would do that, right? So then he said, done, when and where are we meeting? By the way, just for a little bit of backstory, at the time, this happened 2018, well, the end of 2019. She said she was 31 and she'd like to think that she has a pretty clear head on her shoulders, but every now and then she likes to, quote, get ratchet, just have a little fun and, you know, do some things she normally wouldn't do. So then after it's established that he canceled his date, they decided to exchange cacao so they could keep in touch. Further details about where and when to meet to sleep together. So they talked a bit, he updated his schedule and he let her know when he was free, which happened to be later. So she eventually gave him the address of her Airbnb. And she said up to this point, she's completely still thought that he was gonna flake and he wasn't actually gonna show up. He wasn't really about that life, but homie came through.
I was really hoping that he will come through.
I mean, bro, what man doesn't show up for ass? It's a reflex for them. So Nikki said when he first got to the Airbnb, he was a little bit nervous, like that liquid courage he had at the bar had faded a little bit. But after they warmed up, she said with a little bit of foreplay, he was right as rain. And then she said he was thoughtful enough to bring condoms, which should be the bare minimum, right? But as you've seen on this channel in past stories, that is not always the case. She said, I've never seen a Korean condom and boy was I shocked by the packaging. I don't know what they really look like either. Because when me and my ex slept together, we were in Hong Kong. So it's on YouTube and I don't want to get demonetized, but they did the deed.
I did it.
Once the fun had concluded, they had a little bit of pillow talk. And she said that she found out he had a 15-year-old son and he was a single dad, divorcee type. She also said he's the oldest guy that she ever slept with. He was 45. That's why we are calling him an Ajusi. They were talking about like her career and what she does for a living, and she said that he was very impressed by like her drive, her ambition, her goals, and her career path. So they had, you know, a lot of grown people shit to talk about. Kids, divorce, career, things like that. Unfortunately though, he did have to leave and go back to the bar. This sounds like a busy ass night. So after they hooked up, he did leave and he had to go back to the bar, and he said, next time we meet, I'm gonna cook you dinner. Before you go home, I want to give you like another meal after serving you this dish. She agreed to meet him for dinner. He said he cooked because apparently sometimes he cooks at the bar too. So they kissed and he left and went back to the bar. She said, quote, I was a ball of emotions but mostly satisfied because he was well experienced and showed that older guys mean business in this country. Super impressed. So a couple days later, she goes back to the bar to meet him and he has dinner. He made a pasta dish. He made it for her. After they had, you know, one last meal together and one last drink together, he called her a cab. Well, he had one of the bartenders call her a cab.
The cabs are here! The cabs are here! Cabs are here!
Take her back to her Airbnb. Then a few days later, she went back home to the States. And this memory stuck with her. Like, she said it was a good night, you know, it was a respectful, consensual adult evening, and it was very unexpected, and she enjoyed herself. Nikki girl, thank you so much for sharing this story. So, for those who are still here, I promised to tell you the name of the bar if you want to drop through when you go to Gangnam and look at the owner real quick and it's called White Bar. I've never heard of it, but I told you guys many times, I don't really go out in Gangnam too much, but it's called White Bar if you guys are curious and want to see what he looked like. So now for this bonus story. So I got 2 emails like back to back. Nikki sent this hookup with the bar owner in Gangnam story. And then another girl, she said that if I ever choose to use her story, she wants to be Ochako from My Hero Academia. So basically, kind of like the video I did where it was like the very ugly truth about dating in Korea. I think that's what it was called. She sent like an email with like safety tips, brief summaries of many different encounters. And there was one, like I'm probably gonna read a few of them off like little by little over the next few weeks and stuff. But there was one, I was reading this email and I was like,
Hold up. Hey.
I know this fucking, wait, what? And like, okay, so similar to how I did that video, because it was so brief with each like description, it's hard to, you know, fill in the gaps and put it in like a story format. So I wanted to read exactly what she wrote and then I can explain a little bit further. So this is from Ochiko. Thank you girls so much for sending in this email. I haven't done any serious dating in Korea. I do use dating apps like Tinder and Meef, a raging dumpster fire, where I only met one decent guy that was worth meeting up in person. I'm still friends with since 2019, and even Bumble just to look at hot guys. I swipe right on the hot guys, and if they message back, I just ignore them or delete the app. It's more of a that time of the month pastime that I do once or twice a year. Also, everyone warns people about Tinder, but no one warns girls about me. I've always thought it was worse than Tinder. Girl, honestly, I think the reason we stopped talking about Meef so much is because I honestly didn't know people still used it. I did like a video where I trolled Korean dudes, made like a slutty profile or whatever. 2020, I think I have like a series of bad Meef stories. Yeah, girl, I've been trashing Meef for years. Some of the worst horror stories come from Meef. I prefer the Jamanchu style of dating versus Inmanchu style of dating. Jamanchu means meeting someone naturally, and it comes from the word natural, 자연스럽다. Inmanchu is unnatural and includes things like sogeting, using marriage companies, and specializes in setting people up, speed dating events, etc. It comes from the word 인위적이다. It means artificial. There's also amanchu, but unlike the first two, I don't understand what it is. Yeah, like obviously, you know, meeting someone in person the natural way is preferred, but when you are a foreigner in a country where you speak a language that most people don't just naturally speak, it is more convenient to meet someone online. It's just unfortunate that it's full of people who just want to hook up, because not everybody uses apps that way, but definitely in Korea, that is primarily what it's used for. Not to say that people don't meet husbands and wives on dating apps over there, because it happens, it's just not as common as it would happen in the West. Because of this, I kind of rely on meeting people at work, events, or church. That said, guys do sometimes approach me in public, and these are the men you should probably avoid for better or for worse. One Korean guy that approached me did so back in 2019 when I was at Yonsei. I kid you not, this guy literally ran up to me from the middle of the campus and spoke to me with a black accent and wore stereotypical streetwear that every black guy wore in 2019. He asked me for my Instagram and I wanted to see what he would say before I blocked him. I kid you not, he told me he was a rapper and his name was Rich Hobo. Why does that name sound familiar, you might say? I just wrote a clip. So they're accused of fetishizing and preying on young underage black girls, allegedly. Like I said, I got several DMs, and one of the DMs included their Instagram accounts, which when I saw two of them, I recognized them immediately because of how dumb their names were. So back in September of 2019, last year, me and my friend Melissa were out clubbing in Hongdae, and it was very late. Like, we were heading back to the train station because we were gonna catch a train home. And we're followed by like 2 or 3, I think it was 2 guys who were like, yo, what's good? And when I tell you they were such clowns, like the I wanna be a rapper starter kit. Basically what they think hip hop is. Like, it was a mess. So me and my friend were just laughing. Like, they were like, yo, what's good? We turned around and like, we laughed and just kept it moving. Like, I know that's rude, but it was a reflex. We weren't sober anyway. We're like, okay. And we just kept going. So then they were like, yo, but can we get your Instagrams or whatever? And I don't care, follower's a follower, you know. I was like, sure, like I don't have to necessarily talk to them. So I gave them my Instagram. I gave my Instagram to a fuckboy min and a rich hobo. But apparently they've been changing their names around too, and all that will be in those Instagram accounts. You can see what they currently are. Some have been deleted. A lot of this is happening kind of fast right now. So that was that. They mentioned something about a music video. They mentioned trying to hang out. They asked me about my YouTube channel. That was pretty much it. But just to say, I can attest to the clownishness of these guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to expose it. Yeah, guys, we had to expose this clown as a part of all that One Nation BS back in 2020. For those who may not know, One Nation is or was like a rap group in Korea, and they were messaging a bunch of minors, black minors, in very inappropriate and sexual ways. That video got demonetized, age restricted, all that good stuff. I met this clown too in 2019. This was like September of 2019. They just do this to every black girl they see. It's funny because it's the same copy and paste. I was like, wow, This does sound familiar. I asked what his real name was and his fool tells me hobo, lol. Also, I never said anything about a date, but he just assumed I was gonna date him, lol. Here's the kicker, I was not the only black girl he did this to. My friend who is not black was walking with one of her black friends and she told me the same guy named Rich Hobo ran up on her and her friend. He completely ignored her since she's obviously not black and only focused on her black friend trying to get her out with him. So yeah, like I said, I was reading this email and I was like, hold up. That was the bonus story, by the way. I had to remind y'all about this clown because, you know, as time goes on, people forget. So when I told Marika about this, so she went and looked at his Instagram to see what he's up to, and now I think he's married or engaged to like that same I think she's like English, but she's of Somali descent. They have a kid together and they're living their life, which is good for them, I suppose. But she kind of ignored all the allegations that came out with him and his friends, or she forgave him. I don't know the details. I was not there. I'm not gonna put words in her mouth. But yeah, I completely forgot about them. I forgot about all of this. It was 3 years ago, and I met him 4 years ago, and she met him 4 years ago. So maybe this means he's behaving now so that he has a kid and a wife. I don't know. I think it's unlikely. Leopard does not change its spots. The same MO, just in the Hongdae, Yonsei area, minding your business, out with your friends. You get run up on by a Korean dude who think he black and he talk to you in type of way like, yo, what's up, good? What's good, ma? Let me get your Instagram. Anywho, again, I'm sorry for the late upload this week. I'm just 죄송합니다. Nikki, thank you. Ochiko, thank you so much for sending in your stories and getting personal with us real quick. Please binge other videos on my channel. They're put together in playlists conveniently for you. At the end screen, you're gonna see some playlists so y'all can check out more story times, more rants, vlogs in Korea. Like, I haven't done those in a while. I can't wait to get back to those next year. Thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!